Hey guys, welcome to our first video critique. My name is Colin and I am your instructor. Um, and I just wanted to say hello to y'all, or at least all of you in this group. Um, so today I'm going to keep it real brief. We're going to just quickly, spend a few minutes on each person's images and just real briefly talk about them, about how they work for the assignment. And yeah, so without further ado, let's do that. So get rid of this. There we go. Alright, so today, for you guys, we're going to be looking at Crystal's work. And I'm just taking these in the order that they come. So Crystal, Tracy, Jared, and Anne. And I do, it sounds random, but I actually do have your images pulled up here. And we're just gonna go through them and take a look, see what they look like. Stupid computer. I hate when computers lag. I'm gonna skip over this part. I did take a look at these, but I just want to really focus, at least this time around, on what you submitted for images. Alright, so it's kind of slowed, but the idea here was that we were taking two images from magazines, or as the majority of you did, from the internet. That's totally okay. I should just add that into the assignment. I don't know that many people just have magazines sitting around. This computer is going so slow. Alright, this looks a little better. So what we have here is two pretty good examples. On the left, you have some shallow depth of field, right? Basically, your plane of focus is just the stuff that's right here, shallow there, and then, of course, selective desaturation. And I think that's actually a pretty good use of both, pretty effective use of both. So, nice. And then, oh, she also has it written right there. That's okay. So, taking a look at these, they look pretty good. Yeah, I mean, everything's pretty well lighted. You know, sort of playing with the order that things are in. I always like that. And then coming in, so here's her examples of the selective desaturation. Alright. I think this works really well both as an image and as an example of this effect. Stupid computer like. Okay, so yeah, pretty effective. You can see when I do this stuff, I tend to look at the lines, and of course we're a little bit limited in terms of like just based on the sort of the resolution of these PDFs. We can't really look too closely at like the very edges of stuff, but at least in this view, it looks pretty good. I love all your sort of circles. Like, this is well put together. You have circle, circle, circle. You have like a lot of nice geometric shapes, pretty well ordered in terms of balance. Yeah, I mean, overall, it looks pretty good. And maybe I'm also just hungry for ice cream. It may just be that I want a sundae, but this looks like a pretty well put together thing here. Alright, and then playing with it some more here. And let's get down to the shallow depth of field example. There we go. Okay. So yeah, on the left, a little bit deeper depth of field, and then on the right, super shallow. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Now, yep. Looks like, let's go back and look and see if she mentions which technique she used. But yeah, in terms of like credibility, I'd say pretty good. Yeah, absolutely. Like I mean, you have to look at it two ways. You have to look at it like, if I was a person just seeing this in a magazine, would I think that this was, you know, like manipulated, or would I think this is, just shallow depth of field, or would I even have sort of the photographic knowledge to even think about it? In terms of that, I would say it definitely would pass the, casual viewer. This is, just shallow depth of field if I even notice those sorts of things as a viewer. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm seeing a little something around the edges. It's not perfect, but pretty good, pretty darn good. And I don't want to be too picky, I mean, I definitely think that this is a pretty good effort. So nice job, Crystal. Let's see who's next. Tracy. And once again, talking about had to get him off the internet because you couldn't find newspaper or a magazine. Sorry, I have three very energetic boys who love to talk at the top of their lungs. So if you're hearing some crazy kid screams in the background, that's what that is. All right, now shallow depth of field. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to see on this, but I mean, you're seeing like this is pretty sharp. It drops up pretty fast in the background here. That works. And then a very strange image of Tilda Swinton, but one that works. All right. Selective distortion. I think that's. Oh, yeah. I mean, I would say that works. I don't know if this is selective desaturation. I think it's just a almost monochromatic image. I think that'd probably be more in the way that it's shot, but works for me. Let's see. Oh, very colorful. Alright. So, selective desaturation. Yeah, looks pretty good. I like the way that these are set up upright, slanted, upright. I think that's a fun way to put it together. I might have cropped it down just a little bit here, so it felt more evenly, like there was the same amount of negative space or margin here as there was here. So yeah, I like the setup. And also, if you imagine, again, like the composition here, imagine like those dividing into thirds. If you crop in a little bit here, then you have sort of 1/3 here, 1/3 here. You have to sort of imagine that grid from the rule of thirds. This backdrop that's like, I don't know if that's a towel or carpet, this like sort of patterned background. Not my favorite. I find it just a little bit distracting. I think even just like a regular countertop, it's sort of somewhere you expect to see these, so it becomes almost invisible. I don't know. It's not something that bugs me too much, but it is something that I notice. Put it that way. And then working with shallow depth of field. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit on this. I don't know, I just sang that. Either had not enough or too much coffee this morning. I'm not really sure which one. Alright, so original and modified. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't know, maybe I need to see the images a little bit bigger, but I feel like this is. I'm going to try and zoom in a little bit. I feel like this is not necessarily going to blow up well, because it's already starting to look kind of pixelized. Hard to tell. Hard to tell. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Tracy maybe could to send me the 2 files and I can look at them. It's just real hard to see. All right, Tracy, nice. And yeah, I mean, again, it's sort of, I like what you guys are doing, playing with some of these more geometric shapes here. I think that's really kind of cool. All right. Anyway, yep, that's Crystal. So next we'll go to Jared. All right, definitely selective desaturation there, right? I feel like I've seen this. I don't know if I've seen this ad. It looks familiar to me, or maybe it's just something that you see them do. But I like that. That's pretty effective. And that is definitely shallow depth of field. Erica May. I don't know who that is, but nice. I dig that. I like sort of the way these kind of go into the background there. So very cool examples that you found. Yeah. Again, I'm not going to take the time to read this out loud to you guys. If you want to, you can go and look in there, or trust me that I read it and it looks pretty good. All right. So let's zoom in a bit here. All right. So we got this mug on the coffee table. Some different sorts of lighting and kind of framing, composition things going on here. And then, okay, I like this. It's funny, I make it sound like I haven't seen these before, but I just looked at them like a little while ago. And then, yes, this birdhouse is already starting to play, even before, you know, the selective desaturation, he's already starting to play with sort of isolating this against a fairly monochromatic background, fairly, you know, not a ton of color. And then let's see what you did here. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we have the depth of field, shallow, and depth of field, also shallow. Oh, okay, sorry, let's go back here. So, this looks pretty good. Cup is just about where you want it to be within the frame. Get some nice, I always like these kind of graphic elements here that are going on. Could be, I want to see maybe just a little bit higher in the frame. I feel like if it was like, you know, sort of up a little bit more, just to feel like more balanced up to down. But I like this. This would be a good one too for like selective desaturation, because I feel like this little bit of bright color in the background kind of is drawing my eye a little bit. So that's one where, like, you know, turn this background black and white, it's not even going to be a thing anymore. I mean, there's a little bit of brightness there, so your eye might tend to wander, but not in the same way that like a purple area would. And then selective color. All right, nice. I think this is really cool. You see this used a lot, this sort of technique. Sometimes really well, sometimes just like weird and funky. You're like, what is going on? In this case, I'm sorry, that didn't necessarily make any sense, but the point I was making is that a lot of times it's overused or used in ways that like don't really serve the image. Here I think it looks great. And then, okay, yeah, see, there's the original one. It really makes it stand out a lot more. And because this thing is, you know, just like a touch of color, like it's not like 10 different colors, but it's like this red, and it's fairly sort of low-key red. It's not super saturated, it's not real bright. You can see it just makes like a nice contrast to that background without, you know, sort of looking crazy. So nice job, Jared. And I think there was a few, like, as I was looking at this earlier, I was like, you could have used that, you could have used, this is also a nice one. You know, there's a few here where it's like, you sort of got good shots of this birdhouse, so I thought that was really nice. And then let's look at Anne's work. Oh, that's really huge. Sorry, guys. This is a really cool example. I don't know that I've ever seen this before, but it certainly looks like something that's pretty neat. That orange, you know, just against his head. Very cool. Ah, and it dented the, yeah. Alright. You guys are probably going like, what is this dummy? He's like laughing like a weirdo or something. I don't know. Sorry, I kind of trail off a lot on my sentences. You'll have to excuse me. I've also heard that I say a lot. Oh well. So, looking at this, I think this is a really interesting little sort of scene that you've put together here with the camera. I have no idea what this is, the wooden box. This is sort of like a, it's like a really nearly monochromatic background, and then you have this like, these two things, like the camera and this sort of kind of bright golden thing that really make an interesting sort of counterpoint to this background. Alright, and then we have, I'm sorry, okay. I'm going to zoom out on this just a little bit here. And we'll just look at, alright, this is clearly the selective desaturation. It's funny, it's like, if you compare this to, say, like the, well, I'm sure she has the other version of it here too, let's look. But like, something where it was like already almost the only colorful thing, well, even just compared to like this, that's like, it's the only thing that has really a lot of color to begin with, and then she really emphasized that in this process. I think that that looks great. Yeah, I really kind of dig what's going on there. And then for the selective, the last one was selective. For this one, the shallow depth of field, yeah, I mean, I think, again, you're sort of using the same elements, which is totally fine. Like, I would rather, you know, if you're going to use the same elements, do what she did and use them to a different effect in a different way. Like, this feels like a totally different image than the last one. She's got really nice, you know, sort of formal elements. She's got these lines that are all sort of subtly leading you into right here. You got visual elements that we enjoy looking at, like this circle. It's well placed within the frame. And then let's look at C. I think that's really nice. What I like about this is sort of the using shallow depth of field, yes, but you're also using it on something that has like a lot of real interesting texture. I'm actually going to zoom back in because I think that that, you know, is something that you really want to look at up close. So you got this, obviously a thing that we as photographers tend to like to look at. You know, so there's like a lot of cool detail here, and really, if you pick up on the texture with the lighting, sort of see the sort of hazy dustiness there, the sort of chip thing here. You can still read these numbers. So there's a really nice, a lot of really nice stuff. Even like this little bit of detail here, where there's like a little bit of a stamped, something that's, sorry, that's almost all gone, almost all worn away, but still something there. So yeah, this is a really great use of this effect. You know, you sort of, again, using it to great effect. That doesn't sound too repetitive. So yeah, excellent work, guys. Okay, so we're now at the end of the video critique. You should have all watched all the way through, as per the instructions. If you've gotten to this point, now you get the secret instructions as to how to let me know that you watched the whole video. So I'm just going to give you a word, and that word is feathers. So what you're going to do is below where I posted the link to this, not not on YouTube, but on our discussion forum, below where I posted the link to this. Just reply and just say, you can literally just write the word feathers. You can use it in a sentence, whatever. Some form of the word feathers, just like a bird has on its wings, posted below where I, in response to this post on your thing, will let me know that you watched the video all the way through, and I can give you full credit for the participation points on this assignment. Alright, thanks a lot, guys, for your time, and I'll see you next time.